Hello, my friends. Glad to be back. Today is 24th of January. Now it's 1 o'clock, middle of the day, Moscow time. I'm Leman Gudadze, and you are on a channel in which I try to share with subscribers and YouTube community latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Before I start, I will ask you, if I may, to push that like button, leave some commentary and share information about my channel and share links to my channel and videos with your friends. Of course, if you find this video on channel interesting and useful, that will greatly help me to reach wider audience. That being said, let's talk now about news. And there is some interesting developments. We have breaking news at this point, and this is RIA Novosti news agency, which is reporting that this morning Russian military intelligence did spotted large group of Ukrainian armed forces that were attempting to cross Dnieper River in close vicinity of Novaya Kakhovka. That's Kherson region. Russian side did open fire in direction of enemy, and as a result, around 100 soldiers of forces that are still loyal to Zelensky's regime were killed and wounded. 6 armored personnel carriers were destroyed, and 3 amphibious boats were also destroyed. So this is breaking news for this point. We will probably during the day learn some more information, and I will share this information in comment sections under the video and on my Telegram channel. This is my Telegram channel here, and you can subscribe to it. You will see link in the description under the video. And here, as you see, I do share information during the day about interesting developments. So yes, that's first news. This is not unique information, is, if I may say, because Zelensky's regime did try to cross Dnieper River many times before, particularly in area of Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Those attempts were also unsuccessful, and it seems like they are not learning, man. They are just not learning, because Dnieper River is quite a large river, and it's almost impossible to cross it undetected. Almost impossible. And why they are making same mistakes time after time, who knows. But it is what it is, man. Let's go and check some other news. Here we have a statement. This is still RIA Novosti news agency. Here we have a statement from head of DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, Denis Pushilin, who stated that Russian armed forces did make significant progress in direction of Ugledar. He is not giving us specific information what success he is talking about, but it seems like Russian side probably took some high ground in this area, and some strongholds of Ukrainian forces. Let's continue. Still a statement from Pushilin, that's a TASS news agency. As you know, he is giving updates almost every day, so different media outlets are writing about it. So he stated that Zelensky's regime now has only one more or less safe road to towards Bakhmut, Artyomovsk. As you know, Ukrainian side refers to this city as Bakhmut, Russian side Artyomovsk. It's same city. I mean, so Pushilin has stated that because of successful operations of Russian side, Russian forces, now Bakhmut is in operational encirclement, and there is only one road left in by which Ukrainian forces can move in and out of the city more or less safely. And in near future, I mean next few hours, maybe few days, this road will be will come under full fire control of Russian side, and then Ukrainian armed forces in city will be just trapped, and they will have only two options: surrender or die. And that's harsh truth of war, man. Let's continue. Here we have statement from Zaporozhye region officials, Vladimir Rogov, and official, I mean, and he is saying that that's quite interesting news. He's saying that Russian intelligence, military intelligence, has now information that 102nd Brigade of Territorial Defense Forces of Ukraine refused to move forward and take defensive positions around Gulyai Pole. And this information is significant because, as I was saying in previous videos, last couple of weeks, it does. I mean, if you actively are if you are actively reading news about developments on the special military operations zone, you will notice that more and more informations are coming about kind of mutiny, elements of mutiny in Ukrainian armed forces. And here you have one more proof that Ukrainian armed forces are losing its ground, not only on the battlefield, but psychologically too, because it seems like entire brigades now are refusing to fight. And in near future, probably we will see continuation of this process, and most likely we will even see some conflict between different units of Ukrainian armed forces and some elements of civil war. And I have good reason to make this kind of prediction, because we do have information that Zelensky and his henchmen now are starting to take on the opposition inside Ukraine, and they are removing officials from many different high-ranking positions if they think that if they have some doubts about their loyalty. So some elements of internal turmoil inside Ukrainian elites we already can see. And for example, this news from TASS exactly proves my point here. We have information that deputy of defense minister of Ukraine was sacked, and by Zelensky, and defense minister was agree with this decision. and formally reasoning for sacking of deputy of defense minister is some corruption allegations. But as you know, Ukraine is most corrupt country, failed state in the Europe, and one of the most corrupt failed states in the world. So corruption, it's hard to believe that only reason that this official, high-ranking military official was sacked is corruption. I mean, it's just impossible. I mean, it's hard to believe that. So that's probably, at least indirectly, proving my point that there's some internal conflict inside Zelensky's Nazi regime, inside the Ukrainian elites, and I would not be surprised if this purge kind of will eventually remove from office even head of Ukrainian General Staff Zaluzhny, because there are many informations, not just in Russian language media, but in Ukrainian Telegram channels, and periodically even Western media outlets are writing about it, that there's some kind of conflict between Zelensky and Zaluzhny, and some may even see Zaluzhny as a next head of regime in Kiev. So who knows, man? Who knows? And what is interesting that just see the pattern. You know, a few days ago, Arestovich was removed. Today we had information that one more official did left. I will tell you exactly. I did post it on my Telegram channel. Just a sec. Yes, this person, Timoshenko, was Kirill Timoshenko was resigning from office of president. We have information that deputy of defense minister was sacked. So it definitely, I mean, makes impression that there's some internal conflict, and all this is happening after widely discussed the visit of head of CIA in secret visit of head of CIA, recent visit in Ukraine. So something is happening inside the Ukrainian elites, and probably we will see continuation of this development, and even military confrontation between different groups of those elites that are now fighting for power inside Ukraine. And one should understand that now we are talking about not just power inside Ukraine, but we are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars that these so-called elites of Ukraine are receiving from the West, and using as they wish, basically. At least part of it. Those billions are used as they wish. So interesting development. But let's continue. Here we have information. This is RIA Novosti news agency. We have statement from head of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, and he's talking about main battle tanks, Western main battle tanks, and he did said that in near future Western made battle tanks will eventually be delivered to Ukraine, and now there are some talks are continuing inside NATO member states, between NATO member states, to um, make decisions about sending tanks as fast as possible. I mean, this saga is this is kind of never-ending saga, man. I mean, as I said many times, and I mean, you don't have to be like military expert to understand that uh, weapons don't win wars, man. People do, and there is no way these Leopard 2 tanks or Challenger 2 tanks or even Abrams tanks gonna change anything in principle in this conflict if they eventually will send those, and they will do, man. There's no doubt about it that in next few weeks we will probably see Challenger 2 tanks in Ukraine, Leopard 2 tanks in Ukraine, maybe even Abrams tanks or French Leclerc main battle tanks. But me personally, I'm just too tired with this Western hysteria about these tanks, man. I mean, it's not game changer. It's not gonna do any good for Zelensky's regime or for Ukraine. They will be destroyed as many other Ukrainian tanks were destroyed, and that's it, really. Something else is happening here, man, because Western military experts definitely will understand that these tanks will basically change nothing. So it must be something else are behind all this hysteria about main battle tanks. And one day we will probably learn what was really happening behind the scenes, you know. So let's continue. Here we have information that are based on Wall Street Journal's article, in which analytic of Wall Street Journal, Daniel Summit, was saying that Washington should send its Abrams tanks not to Ukraine, but to Taiwan, because Taiwan is more important for U.S. national interest that Ukraine is. And to be honest, you know, Washington should don't send its tanks to anywhere, really, because it's none of Washington's business. Chinese internal affairs, and Taiwan is a part of China. There is no independent state Taiwan. Taiwan is a part of China, and that's it. So it's not U.S. business what kind of relations Beijing and Taipei have between each other. They will deal with it, you know. It's their country. But you know, man, I mean, this U.S. exceptionalism, or what, you know, they are think that they have some kind of right to, you know, be a world policeman, or who are you, for God's sake, man? These U.S. elites, man, I mean, who are they? Some uneducated idiots, man, that somehow end up in position of elites, man. I mean, it's sickening, man. And that they truly are uneducated, man. If you listen what U.S. congressmen or senators are talking about, most of them are truly uneducated idiots, man. And deep state, so-called deep state, use those bastards because it's easy to use idiots, man. It's just easier for them, you know. And this so-called expert of Wall Street Journal, I mean, who said that I mean, he knows anything, man. I mean, he's imperialist as many others, because I mean, instead of saying that it's none of our business to go and to intervene in internal affairs of other countries and other regions, is saying that the US should send its military equipment to Taiwan instead of Ukraine. I mean, they should never send their equipment to anywhere, man. Just keep it to yourself, and if anyone attacks you, then use it to defend yourself. But I don't see any country in the world that want to attack USA. Why should they? I mean, just stay away from world, man. Just leave this world alone. Because everyone is tired, man. Sick and tired of US behavior, man. And of course, I'm talking about elites of the US. Whenever I talk about countries, I'm always talking about elites, because I have no problem with ordinary people like me, man. Because I mean, we definitely are not enemies. We are on one side, and these so-called elites are on the other side. So it is what it is, man. Let's continue. And here we have information, still Wall Street Journal. This is again RIA Novosti, quoting some publication on Wall Street Journal from Seth Johnson, and I assume Seth Johnson is a woman. Is it right pronunciation, man? It's sickening, man. Maybe this Seth Johnson thinks that she or he or whatever is a wardrobe. I mean, may should I say his wardrobe thinks that. Anyway, so in publication in this Wall Street Journal, a point was made that conflict in Ukraine did open problems that US has in terms of military industrial complex, because it seems like right now US military industrial complex is not ready to cope with high levels of demand. And that's maybe true, because after Cold War, there was no need really to keep producing or maintaining high levels of production of tanks and other military equipment. And maybe some plants were shut down, or I don't know, man. And now US probably does have some problems with manufacturing capacities. So it's interesting, and of course this publication yet again are directed into Indo-Pacific region and China, because of course US imperialists see China as the main threat to the hegemony in the Pacific region. And when they are making some calculations, probably they are shocked that US economy may not be ready for intense conflict with China, even in terms of proxy war. And here, last information for today, probably. No, one more information. And So here we have information. This is RBK News Agency, and we have publication here that are based on Bloomberg's material, which said that Washington is protesting. Washington this has now some kind of evidence about Chinese support to Russia, and Washington did give this evidence to Beijing to let them know that Washington monitoring situation and are against this kind of development. I mean, they want China to stop support Russia. And in this publication, we can read that China's support right now is not by military equipment or something like that, but if you listen to this, if you take this information as a fact, it may be that China is supporting Russia financially because China is main economic partner for Russia right now, and that's okay by me. And when it comes to military stuff, China is providing Russia with some non-lethal equipment, and that's okay too. But to be honest, me personally, I would not have a problem if China will provide Russia with drones or missiles, whatever, man. Whatever Russia needs, China should be able to sell it, because it's yet again none of Washington's business what Moscow and Beijing what kind of deals Moscow and Beijing will have between each other, So, but this information, if it's true, it does give us a sense that there is some kind of cooperation between Beijing and Moscow in terms of some military deliveries, and even if it's not non-lethal equipment, I mean, it's kind of a help to Russia, and it's good. I mean, from my point of view, it's all good, man. And I don't care if US is not happy, US elites are not happy about it. I mean, who cares? And last news for today is that foreign ministry of Finland is saying now that Finland may apply for NATO membership without Sweden, and this is all because of latest problems in relations between Sweden and Turkey, and Ankara did do everything to make sure that Swedish elites understand that they have no chance now to reach agreement with Turkey and to have a Turkey's approval of their membership in NATO. And to be honest, when I read this information, I did think that maybe this is all staged, this latest escalation between Sweden and Turkey, because maybe Swedish elites are divided on a point of joining NATO, on topic of joining NATO, and maybe not all of them are happy with this idea, and maybe they provoke this conflict with Turkey especially, so that Turkey will block the membership of Sweden in NATO. Because to be honest, I mean, I don't really understand why on earth Sweden needs to be NATO member. Because Russia did not threat Sweden, that Russia did not threat Finland. Finland now has some crazy leaders in I mean, like the prime minister, this crazy lady that you know acting quite strange, not like serious person definitely, but Sweden is a more serious state, man. Swedish elites are more serious. As a state, Finland is a great state too, of course, but so it's quite possible that inside Swedish elites are some divide, and maybe that's why these latest problems with Turkey were provoked, because it was provocation by Swedish side, definitely, man. I won't go in details. You probably know what happened, but it was definitely provocation, and Turkish leadership has all rights to be against Sweden now, and to block Swedish membership in NATO. So it is what it is, man. This is gonna be last news for this video, which is already 31 minutes, man. No matter how hard I try to make videos short, they are, anyhow. I hope you find this video interesting. Sorry for my English. I'm trying to improve my language, but it takes time, man. It takes time and practice. But I hope I do talk in understandable levels, at least, So if you find this video interesting, please push that like button, subscribe to my channel if you are new, leave some commentary, and share information and link about my channel with your friends. That will greatly help me to reach a wider audience. If during the day we will have some big developments, I will definitely make second video. If not, then see you tomorrow, and take care.